Is your day job related to security?
No, not at all. I'm a developer. I work in the middleware space actually, with products that in the IBM stack that make the connect systems basically. So day to day, I do things like configurations and a little bit of Java here and there, and they have a embedded language called eSQL that I use a bit. So those types of things is my day-to-day job. But security was more of a passion that I started a while back. I decided, I think it was actually just before COVID, that I decided to study security. And I didn't know about Web3, and so I jumped in and I did the PNPT from TCM Academy. I really was grateful for that. I learned so much there, and then obviously the try hack me and the hack the box and proving grounds from offensive security, and tried my hand a bit at Web2 bug bounty. And at the same time I started seeing Web3. In fact, I think your podcast and some of your tweets were of the first I saw about Web3, and got me interested in the Web3 world. And I put the Web3 on a back burner for a while I carried on seeing how the security, the traditional security would play out, and then just decided, no, I think I'm going to make the switch. And well, yeah, I should have done it earlier, basically.
Nice. Yeah, I also started with the traditional cybersecurity path with the OSCP and all that. Did you have much success with Web 2 bug bounties before you jumped into Web 3?
No, I wasn't very successful. I can honestly say it's due to my, I think my cautious nature, because the whole time you're doing it from home, and it's not something I'm used to. I don't work for a cybersecurity firm, so to I'm sort of the whole time thinking I shouldn't actually be here. I shouldn't be sending this package right now. So to get over that, there was some nights when I was doing something and my daughter came and she said, "Dad, why are you shaking?" I said, "Because I'm about to send something that I shouldn't." And traditionally, obviously I wasn't doing anything that I shouldn't, but in terms of in your cautious nature, I shouldn't be trying to get into there or changing this JWT or whatever. So my cautious nature, I don't think it was for me. I was much happier that Web3 was open source. I could see the code, and they actually said, "Hey, there it is. Go take a look. See what you can find."
Yeah, Web 2, you're doing a lot of testing and production, so I can see where your caution would come from.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was I still have a very soft spot for cybersecurity, and I think I drive my poor family up the wall with, "Don't click that, don't do that." There's all sorts of firewalls and filters on the network to try and keep us all safe. So far, so good. And the so it'll always be a passion. But I think when I found Web3, it was kind of like it felt like home. It felt like a place where I know it's an old meme and I know everyone says it, but if you find something you'd be prepared to do for free, you found what you really love. So I found it. I'm happy to spend my time just looking at the code, trying to help, trying to make it a better place and improve where I can and do what I can within the ecosystem, and really just enjoy every moment of learning. I mean, as you know, the learning curve is incredible. I thought cybersecurity was a steep learning curve, but Web3 equals it any day.
Yeah, it's a whole new stack that you have to learn. What aspect of Web3 did you find most interesting?
I think what I found the most interesting, I having come from the security, to me it's about finding something and fixing it before it's exploited, and in the smart contracts. I also was very grateful to be able to join the Y Academy ZK fellowship, and I'm very grateful to them. They've been very kind to me, and um, so learning ZK, zero knowledge, that I'm not a young guy anymore. Sometimes I feel like the old guy on the block. I just recently turned 50, um, so to sort of polish up the old mathematics from high school was quite a challenge, and then learn the ZK, and then I was also very grateful to be able to join the ZK camp and learn some more, and the Noir language. So the privacy aspect of that really was fun for me, and the being able to prove something. So ZK was really fun. I really enjoyed that, but I also really enjoy jumping in, making sure that this whatever you're working on is safe, is protected as best as you can.
Mm. Yeah, I'm 34 and I feel really old sometimes in this industry. I see these young guys like 20 or something, like doing really well. It's good to see older guys also learning and upskilling in the Web3 security space as well. You mentioned the Y Academy ZK block. How did you get into that block? Because I saw it was super competitive with a lot of people trying to get in. What was that process like?
I applied. I applied to Y Academy, the Solidity block, and was not accepted at that stage. And then the ZK block came in, and I applied, and they allowed general access to a sort of a public channel at that stage before it was open sourced. And I decided I'm going to really get everything I can from this. If they've been gracious enough to allow me onto at least the public channel, I'm gonna try really hard and get everything out of this that I possibly can. Learn what I can, learn what's out there, and then I think it was. They saw that I was keen. That's what I attributed to. Guys, if I'm wrong, please forgive me. I think they saw I was keen. I was trying really hard, and then they were gracious to allow me to join. I did join a bit late, and I had to play catch up. But it as I say, I'm super grateful. They have been so kind to me, even after the fact, and so really grateful for them.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, Y Academy blocks are fantastic. I always recommend people who are trying to get into the space. Yeah, get into Y Academy if they can, and to just join a block.
Absolutely.
And, yeah. And how did you find the material? Were you able to learn ZK? Because I saw a couple of videos from the zBlock1, and I particularly like the first video where they actually gave you a proper mind map to navigate the bits of knowledge around ZK. How did you find the material?
The material was very top class. It was put out in such a way. It was progressive, and I needed that because, as I say, I mean, my mathematics was back in the day still not as advanced as they do math nowadays. And so I really appreciated the progression and the thought progression to teach you how you must think about ZK and what are we actually trying to accomplish here. I did have to go down numerous rabbit holes and go, I have no idea what that is or what that mathematics is like, and binge watch YouTube. So I'm very grateful to everybody that puts out content on YouTube. Although it might be maths and they might think it's not wow, it is. It's fantastic. I'm very grateful for the content creators that put out the mathematics and the ZK stuff that I went and watched. So I did have to go and do some extra learning. It was a very intense learning curve at that stage.
Nice. Was that like 2 months long, something like that?
I think it was just over a month long. It may have been longer. I don't recall exact timelines, but it was quite a while. What made it really useful, or whatever the right word is that it wasn't class on class on class on class, so that you're still reeling from the previous class. They were staggered enough to give you time to sort of mull over and learn more and go down those rabbit holes if you need to. So they were staggered enough to give you a chance to catch up, and I really appreciated that. So it was a really pleasant and amazing experience from what from my point of view. But there's other. I don't only want to say that there's other guys producing content out there for ZK that are brilliant. I don't want to take away from any of them either. There's some guys that are putting out content that the stuff that they're putting out there for free is so valuable. And so once again, thank you to everybody putting out content out there. I appreciate them all. They're doing us a great service.
Yeah, I find the ZK content out there, especially on YouTube, they don't even have that many views. So, you can just see from that there's not that many people even actively trying to learn this stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many there are, but I think the barrier to entry of actually just that mathematics, my daughter is now doing her final year of school, and I would often call her and say, come look here, explain this to me, and then she would have to run me through how it works and why it works like it does. So unless you're really prepared to put in the hard work, it's not something I recommend just jumping into. And once you even understand the math behind it, just the concepts of ZK are so advanced that it really takes quite a while to understand. So please don't let me put anyone off of studying it. Please go for it. You can do it. Anybody, I'm sure, can do it. But it is hard work.
That's really interesting that you say your daughter would be able to explain to you the math around ZK. Would you say that high school math is enough to get started with ZK?
Started, yes. I started along the journey. There were times when she said, "No, Dad, I have no idea. You'll have to go and YouTube that." So yes, started down the journey for sure. but as it gets more advanced, I think it just depends on how deep a person wants to go, and how important it is to you to know, the difference between how it works and why it works. Is the math. So I'm of the opinion. I mean, I haven't been in high school for quite a while, so I can't honestly say. I think the math they do in high school now, I probably never would have got to in university even. So they're way more advanced. But yeah, she was able to teach me a few things. Initially to just explain how it all fits together, but after that, I had to go on my own journey.
No, nice. So once you went through the Y Academy block, do you feel that you have enough knowledge to audit a ZK protocol, or do you feel that's still quite far away?
Wow. No, I think on my own, no. As part of a group, yes. I think there's once you've got the concepts and you've done because we did do a small audit, there's a deeper level to go. So I don't think I would have. I would tackle on my own as part of a team, absolutely. But on my own, no. I wouldn't have enough knowledge. For instance, if there was I know there is a Code Arena contest coming up, but if there were a few that a person could join and use that as a learning to get better, I'm sure by the end of doing, because practice makes perfect, you would gain more confidence. But just straight out of finishing that, I would give it my best shot, but I wouldn't give myself out as a ZK auditor on a solo team. No.
Yeah, right. So I mean, you can still contribute if you audit it in a group. So I would say that's actually pretty good, just going through the Y Academy block to get to that level. I mean, you mentioned the Code Arena contest, the 1.1 million part one, which is the largest Code Arena contest, I believe. Are you going to compete on that one?
Correct, yeah. The jury's still out on that one. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of people looking into it, and a lot of, I mean, just purely from a financial standpoint, somebody that is into the contests would obviously be drawn to it because of the pot is so large. I don't know. I haven't given it a honest thought, because I'm not sure if the contest is not going to be really quite well subscribed, for lack of a better word.
Interesting. The ZK sync code base, I think, is around 3,000 lines. Potentially, you could just look at a subset of that and find something, right?
Yeah.
Just focusing on the small details. I see a ton of people just having no ZK knowledge, just like, oh, I gotta learn ZK this week and start competing next week when the contest starts. It's a lot of FOMO around ZK, definitely, at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? There's going to be guys that are going to do really well, having just jumped in. So there's some brilliant guys out there, and for those guys that do it, I hope you really do well, guys.
So what will you be focusing on? Actually, just before the ZK stuff, you obviously knew about Code Arena and learning Web3 security. Did you compete in much contests before the ZK one? You started learning ZK when you just were learning traditional, say, vanilla Web3 security?
I did a couple. I didn't do that many, but I did do a couple. And so I haven't really, and I have sort of looked at Sherlock and Code Arena, and Sherlock, I wasn't very successful in submitting anything in the early days. And then I didn't get to work on anything on. So I did a few Code Arenas. Immunify, because of it being production code and everything, always felt like just that next level. You know, at least they've been audited and they're in production, so you really got to know what you're doing to find something on Immunify. Well, that's the impression I had. I'm not saying that is the reality, but that's so. I didn't do much on Immunify, and then after that I started looking more at Code Arena, having a look. I've done one or two there, and just did one on Sherlock, and so at the moment I'm sort of trying to see where the best fit is to make a difference and add value.
Now, when did you start learning Web3 security?
I would say in reality, so my first introduction to it, I probably have a similar story to most people, would have been with the 16-hour course from Patrick. And I did the 16-hour Solidity course and learned that, and then just read up on my own, and what else I could find, and did the Securium. I read through the Securium boot camp, but I didn't participate in the boot camp or anything like that. So I've done the reading of that, and then watching content from Spearbit and everybody that puts out the content, watching that. So that started, I would say, October last year. I started as I say, I was still trying to see how the Web 2 would go. So sort of on and off basis, would do a bit here and there, but I decided sort of February this year to say, okay, I'm switching over. I'm making this Web 3 my focus now. So in reality, I had a bit of Solidity knowledge by January, but the true learning started in Feb.
Nice. And obviously, this is going to take a lot of time, and you're fitting this around your day job as well. I think when I was studying it, in my old job, I was doing about 10 to 15 hours a week on Code Arena and all the other learning resources that you mentioned as well. How many hours are you putting in, roughly?
It depends. I can't say per week, because each week has its own uniqueness of where you have to be or what you have to do. But I finish work, I help with the dishes and get the house sort of settled, and then jump in, and then I work till about 10 p.m. So 7 p.m. till about 10 p.m. During the week. Sometimes later, depending on what is happening at that stage, and sometimes earlier when there's no dishes to do and things to sort out. Then I might jump in from 6 o'clock till 10 p.m. or slightly later, and then weekends. Some I don't work Sundays, but Saturdays. Some Saturdays I don't get the chance to do anything, but some Saturdays I can sit from 8 till 10 p.m. again. So it just depends on the time available, but yeah, trying every moment to make that difference, and put in the learning, and work hard.
Nice. That's really impressive that you're able to fit that many hours in addition to working a full-time job. I just had a newborn earlier this year, and my study time has definitely decreased a lot. It's good to hear that.
Yeah.
Maybe as they get older, you get more of your own time back again.
Yes. Well, as I say, my daughter's in her final year at school, and so she doesn't take up as much time in terms of needing help with this and that. So it does give me the freedom, and also my wife is very understanding, that has said, you sit, focus, this is important to you, I know you're building this for the future, so that it's your passion, and it's something you can do going forward, and perhaps be able to later on earn a living from it. So she's very understanding of it, and allows me the time and gives me the time, and so I'm very grateful. My family's been very supportive of the journey, and so they need some recognition too.
Nice. So is it fair to say that your goals are you want to switch to doing Web3 security full time at some point?
I would, as I say, find something you do for free, and you found your passion. Yeah, it's when I'm not working on it, I'm thinking about it. So it's really something that I enjoy. It's something that I can really get lost in, and really have fun doing. So yes, it one day, if the opportunity arises, it would be, dream come true. But until then, we just keep on. There's a very good author called Seth Godin. Don't know whether anyone knows him, but he's got a book called The Drip, and it talks about just drip, just do little bits every day, and you in the end, it's a really big thing. So I'm taking that approach, just doing what I can every day, working hard, and you've got to put in the effort to make the impact. And when I was younger, I was quite keen into gymming, and so there was a website I happened on, and they had a slogan that said, "Sweat will eventually harden into muscle," and so that's the philosophy I'm following. Just keep on the hard work, and eventually you will be there, wherever there is.
Nice. Yeah, I feel to 2023, it's definitely a lot harder to get into the industry than compared to last year. So I feel pretty fortunate to have found it fairly early in 2022. Are you looking to, I guess, what sort of direction are you hoping to head in? Like, do you want to be a full-time bounty hunter, getting paid from contests, or do you want to get a full-time job at an auditing company?
At the moment, I don't have a strategy, so I'm not sure. The strategy is to work and see what presents itself, and then we will when the opportunity presents itself, I will know. But currently, I don't have a set goal of where I'm headed. As you said, getting into the industry is quite difficult at this stage. So at the moment, the idea is just carry on doing the contests, and also like I guess in any business, you've got to become a well-known individual or entity or whatever in the business, that people will eventually go, oh yes, it's him. You know, we know him, and he's been good or bad. Hopefully, my reputation will be good, and you know, and we can make use of skills like that. So just keep on building the reputation and working hard and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, I think the advice you've given is really good. A lot of people, especially recently, they're finding the competition on audit contests a lot higher, harder to get paid, and then getting very demotivated. I wonder if that's because they don't really enjoy it as much as you do. Because I find the most successful people actually enjoy the work, even if they're not getting paid, so to speak, from the learning process.
It may be that for some people it is kind of like this is where I want to be, and it's demotivating to not be achieving where you want to be. So when the payoff is deferred, when you're not making the success you hoped you would, I think when that's where you want to be, it's very demotivating. Yeah, there's some people that I'm guessing would see it as back in the day easier money, and their hearts aren't really in it. But a lot of the guys I've interacted with are fantastic auditors, well, growing auditors. I don't think I have any seniority to say who is and isn't a good auditor, but they're really top class people that I've interacted with. Then I think they really just want to achieve, but the climb is hard. The climb is very hard, and yeah, there will be those who, as you said, their hearts aren't in it, and it will. I guess that's in any industry. Your hearts will fall. Your heart's not in it, so you'll leave it eventually. But yeah, there's some guys out there. I just wanna say, if I can, guys, you're doing great. You're doing great. Just keep on at it. I'm not there, you know. I'm not talking from a point of yeah, I made it, you know, climb up the mountain like me. I'm talking from a point of view of we're in the journey together, and there's some really fantastic guys there on the forums and the stuff, and just keep at it. We not kind of, we all gonna make it, and you know, happy, and but the guys are putting in the effort. I'm super impressed with some guys.
Yeah, nice. You mentioned some forums. Can you share a bit more of the learning resources you used?
Sure. I've watched the Spearbit channels. I've watched your channel, the Y Academy channel, the Securium channel. These are all YouTube channels. Then obviously the Securium website where that bootcamp is. The Y Academy website has some really good Solidity and proxies and all sorts of information there. And then there's the different guys that publish content on things like Hacker Noon and Medium, and I follow them. I can't really say who in particular, but Immunify has got stunning articles that a person can read, and so there's no one content creator or something that I can say this is who I've sort of followed most. I try and broaden my experience from everyone, because everyone has a different perspective, and you can learn something unique from each and every person that has taken the time to put that information out there. So yeah, Medium, Hacker Noon. I can't think of much. Obviously, Twitter. There's guys producing and sharing their links to their blogs and their things on Twitter that have got really good insights and really nice resources that they've taken the time to write up.
Yeah, nice. I think that's similar to a lot of the learning resources that people use to try to get into this space. So what does your day-to-day look like in terms of like studying and that? Do you just consume security content and then you do an audit contest? What does that look like?
Okay, so I obviously get up. We go for our run. So we try and keep fit. Get in 3 or 4 times a week. We try and run, and then I work. And then when I do sit the whole time, I work on my work PC. But I also have another PC. And if something interesting pops up, a person can quickly, when you grab a cup of coffee, just take a quick look at that or something. But then when I can officially switch off and close down, and because you got to have integrity, you can't be doing 2 things. So I can't spend too much time there. Only when now and again, when, as I say, you grab a coffee or something, then grab the computer, catch up, do your readings, anything new that has popped up in the feed that you may think I really need to know about that, or there's this new write up on this new bug. I might read up on that, catch up, and then I will start looking at code base or something, and I don't really have a set routine that I can say, well, I focus for X amount of time. I know some people do. They have this really strict routine to say, I'm going to focus from then till then, and perhaps as I can move into it more, that there is a set time that I have, but sort of I will look at a code base and realize I'm not really sure what that does, and then fall down a rabbit hole and say, I've never looked at, let's for instance say, I've never looked at the cloning, how the cloning works for Soulmate or something. Then I'll go into it and I'll go and read up and find out, and so while I'm working I might do the research, so I see it as a combined thing rather as 2 separate things.
Yeah, what you mentioned about when you're auditing a code base and you find something that you don't know and then you go dig into the research around that topic, I think that is a really good point, because I find learning the stuff really solidifies better when you're learning it in context. So you're using it straight away after you learn about it. Yeah, that's a really good approach.
Yeah. I think, and also it has context at that time. I can go, for instance, and go and read a blog about, I don't know. Let's use a unrelated example, reentrancy. I can go and read a blog about reentrancy, but until the day where I'm working, okay, but how does reentrancy work? Because right here, I think I might be able to call back and go and read. Now I've got context of why reentrancy works and how it works and what needs to be. Okay, but I need that. Okay, now this won't work because you need to have an external call or whatever it may be. So you've got context at that time that makes it more relevant to your learning, so it's more cemented. That's my humble opinion.
Yeah, definitely agreed 100%. A lot of people, once they become more senior in the industry, they don't really feel the need to change or anything like that. So yeah, it's really interesting to hear your mindset and perspective around that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, well, gotta keep going. You either grow or you stagnate. So I guess I got to keep growing, and hopefully we'll move, as we spoke, into the industry as and when the opportunity arises.
Yeah, nice. Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you, Darren. Thanks for coming on to share your experience.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you very much. It was great to be able to share.